Hey, what's up you guys? It's Sam Kwok here once again, and in this video I'm going to go and break down and show you guys my 4-unit apartment building that I did no money down on my own. You probably saw my other video of which I did $2,500 down on a single family residential. If you missed that, go and check that out. But I'm going to go and show you how I found this property, the 4-unit. I'm going to break down the numbers, the analysis, how we negotiated it. In fact, the negotiation process was a really long process, and I'll give you a little rundown on how we closed it. So let's go and cue the intro and let's go and see the property. Alright, welcome back guys. So this video is a continuation from the last video that I did where I showed you a house that I bought for $2,500 down. It's a rental property, and I broke down how I found it, how I ran the numbers, how I analyzed it, the contract, the whole 9 yards. So if you guys like to see more of these types of videos, be sure to hit like and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. So right now I'm driving to another rental property that we own. It's a 4-unit apartment building. I'm going to show you guys how I found it. I'm going to break down the numbers, show you a glimpse of the contract, and give you a little tour of the property. We won't be able to go see all the units because there are tenants inside. I will also show you as bonus content of me collecting coins from the laundromat that I have with this 4-unit. So how I found this property was that I found it through driving for dollars. And what that means is that I was driving around the neighborhood looking for opportunities where I can acquire a rental property. Now, this particular neighborhood, it's on the far southern edge of the Chicagoland area. And I was driving around and I saw a for sale by owner sign. Now, typically, I don't get motivated by for sale by owners, mainly because I know it's available for other people to go and take a look at and call and so forth. But I was like, what the heck, let's go and call this number anyways and see if they'd be interested in some of the owner financing and creative options that I have. And they were initially not. So what happened next was they sent me an email with their numbers on a Word document, and I'm gonna show you the numbers on the screen right now, and that's what they sent me over the email, and I got to work as far as analyzing numbers right there and then. All right, everybody, behind me is the rental property that you're looking at. It's the 4-unit apartment building. So I'm gonna go and give you a little tour around the building, show you guys what it's like. And afterwards, I'm gonna go and collect the coins from the laundromat. So here we go. Everybody, let's go and break down this property. I'm going to show you guys how I ran the numbers and show you how I analyzed the deal. So as always, let's go and start with the gross rent, which is $4,000 a month across all 4 units. And not to mention, we have also the laundry machines that are also generating revenue. So every month, it averages about $50 to $80. I'm going to take the low number just to be conservative. So combining the laundry revenue, it's actually about $4,050 a month, and this is our gross rent and revenue every single month. Okay. Now from there, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take both. With the gross rent, we have to account for the vacancy allowance, right? So the vacancy allowance I got here is $200 a month. Again, I'm taking 5% vacancy allowance, so 5% of the gross rent, right? So minus $200 for vacancy allowance. Okay. Next, we're going to go and put in the property taxes, which is $669.86. Again, welcome to Illinois. Our property taxes are really high. So property taxes, I'm going to go and put that in there. Okay. And then next, we have to account for the insurance cost. Okay. Insurance cost. And by the way, these are all the numbers that I got from the sellers. So the sellers are paying, we're paying for the insurance, and they were telling me what the data is. So $141.84 is the monthly insurance cost. Next thing, we have to factor in property management cost, right? So property management cost, 8% of the gross rent. PM cost, and the property management cost is $320 a month.
Okay. Next thing, as you guys may have guessed it, we have to factor in maintenance, right? We have to make sure the property is well maintained. There might be repairs every month, or there may not be. So we go and factor in 10% for maintenance reserve. So 10% maintenance. $400 for maintenance. Now, again, we may not have $400 of maintenance every single month. This might be, this will get added on, and later down the road, it might be a $1,000 check here, $2,000 repair item there, right? This is just me setting aside in case something, like a major repair that I need to do. In fact, a couple months ago, I replaced a bathroom floor of one of the units, and that was $950, right? So I had to draw forth the money somewhere. So this is where we build in the maintenance reserve. Maybe we do have $400 of repairs every month, but in most months we don't. So this is very, very important. The next thing is, because it's a 4-unit apartment building, there's something called common area utilities. This is water or electric that I pay as a landlord for, like the balcony lights. Give me a better example, hallway lights. So the hallway lights has to be paid somehow, right? So as a landlord, I have to pay that. That's a common area utility. So the common area utility, I pay water and the water for the laundry machine and electric for the hallway, lights and stuff like that. Together, it's $132 a month. Okay, $132.00, and this is common area access. Okay, common area. There we go. So total, let's go in and calculate our net operating income. Again, these are what's called operating expenses. I need to pay for these to keep my rental property functioning. So I subtract everything, and I got a number of $2,186.30. Okay, that's my net operating income after I deduct all the expenses that I pay for on this property. This is what the net operating income is. Now, this is not the same thing as cash flow. Okay, cash flow is when you got to subtract the monthly mortgage payment or monthly owner financing payment. That's how you get the cash flow. So this is how I break down typically with the numbers. With multifamily, with anything that's more than single family, you got to keep that in mind. The common area maintenance or common area, utility costs, that's all going to be an expense to you. Don't forget that, okay? So let's go and calculate the cash flow on this, which I'm going to erase the itemized portion of this and then just bump this up. So my net operating income is $2,186.30. Okay, this is my net operating income. Now we're going to factor in the financing part and how I negotiated for this deal. Now, originally, of course, the seller was asking for cash, or I go into get my own bank financing. But I pointed out the seller has owned this property for a very long time, and if they sell this property by cash, or they sell this property with I have my own bank financing, they may end up having a fairly large capital gain taxes bill. So with owner financing, this is something that we teach, and Daniel teaches us pretty well, is that owner financing is a phenomenal method to help the seller defer some of those capital gains taxes so that they don't have to pay it right away. So that's something I pointed out to the seller. Of course, I told him, hey, I'm not an accountant. Check with your accountant, right? Verify what I'm saying to you, because I could be lying. Go and check with your accountant and make sure that what I'm telling you is true. So I offer the option of, okay, so if we gave you seller financing, not only do you get to collect interest on the financing itself, but also you get to defer some of those capital gains taxes that you would have to pay next year when you go and report the sale of the property. So, because anytime you sell a property, you got to report that in the IRS. So, I offer that. They were like, I guess we're interested in that. Let's hear let's see what you have to say. And I've explained, my terms. So here's the offer that I made. Of course, I got to have the monthly payment, my mortgage payment, my seller financing payment fit inside the $2,186.30 NOI. If my mortgage payment is above that, I have a negative cash flow situation. So I got to make sure that it fits underneath that. So here's the initial term that I offer. And I put this in a nice little letter of intent, and I'll throw that on the screen once again. The asking price was $275,000. Again, you guys know me. I don't like to finagle with the asking price unless it's like outrageously ridiculous and it's way above the reasonable rate for the area. So this was the asking price. Okay. Automatically, I go into the 15-year amortization mode, because I'm earlier in my stage in my investing career, I was always thinking, how do I protect myself in case there's another recession? I don't want in a situation where I owe more than what the value of the property is. Plus, if I need to go refinance this a couple years down the road, I don't want the value of the home to fall. And I have a huge note. I have a huge debt that I'm carrying into seller financing that I can't, go get financing again. So I was always concerned, again, with a long-term protection. How do I protect myself in the long term? I put a 15-year amortization down. Okay, and I knew this couple. There was a couple that was selling it. They didn't want to hold on to the note forever. So I was trying to be nice to them. Said, I'll give you a 7-year balloon. I don't usually give up this easily with the balloon stuff, right? I only take it out when I have to. But I did a 15-year amortization. Okay, it's a 15-year financing, and more, and 7-year balloon. Okay, and the reason why I did a 7-year balloon instead of 5-year balloon like the last time was this was a little bigger amount than the $90,000 property bought last time. This was a little bigger amount. Plus, I was kind of anticipating a interest rate hike the following year, which it did happen. I was right. I predicted correctly. I bought this in 2017. 2018 alone, we had 4 interest rate increases by the Federal Reserve. So, hooray! I was right. So, with that being said, 15-year amortization, 7-year balloon. I give him 5% interest. Okay, 5% interest. Which is not terrible. I mean, it's higher than what you could probably get now, but it's owner financing, right? 5% interest was pretty darn reasonable, especially with the 15-year amortization. Not too bad. So my payment actually ended up being, which by the way, the down payment was 10%. $27,000 and $500, and I'll get to the part where I actually didn't have to fork that over. I'll show you how I did it. So the monthly payment on this. The term was $1,957. So $1,957 a month was due to the seller for the seller financing. So notice that $2,186 minus $1,957, my cash flow is anywhere around $229.30. Okay, not the most exciting cash flow in the world, but keep in mind, guys, 15-year amortization, I'm paying down more principal, eliminating debt, increasing my wealth. Okay, my equity position, in case something crazy happens. By the time you guys are watching this, we're in the middle of this coronavirus pandemic. So I calculated things correctly. So with that being said, let's get to the $27,000, $500, the 10% down part. Let's put it that way, and how I didn't have to fork over that money. So what I did was I put this deal together, got the seller to say yes, and the negotiation process was actually pretty long. It took me about 2 months, I believe, for the negotiations to happen. The sellers were still contemplating. They were going back and forth with their attorney and their accountant. They were sort of hesitant on this, but I think they understood that they can save a lot of money on the capital gains. And they could also earn quite a bit of interest along the way. And by the time I refinanced this out by the end of the 7-year balloon, I would have already paid all the interest by then because, again, amortization, front-loaded interest, you guys know what I'm talking about. So what I did is I put this together, went and put together a nice little what's called executive summary package. Now, this executive summary package basically shows off the deal, right? How I found it, what the terms are, how profitable it's going to be. I talk about the area. So think of this like as a business plan, but for your specific property. So what I did is at that time I had a pretty good network of people who did have money. And what I did is I started handing this out to them. Say, hey, let me know. I'm putting this deal together right now. Let me know what you think about this deal. Okay, I'm not asking you to invest in it. Just tell me what you think. As a third-party eye, I would like your opinion. And they said, oh yeah, I'll take a look. A couple of them said, no, I'm not interested. But one person came back and said, Sam, tell me about this deal. Like, how does this work? How did you get owner financing? Where are we making our money? Yada, yada, yada. And I explained to the person, said, hey, this is how it works. This is how I negotiated. This is where we make money. And that person said, you know what? This makes sense. Let's go with it. $27,500 down payment. I got you, buddy. So my partner ended up footing the entire bill. In fact, she ended up putting $28,000 to cover the closing costs as well. Pretty darn cool. And this partner ended up getting 50% of the deal. So we ended up creating an LLC. And then she had 50% of the LLC. I kept 50% of the LLC. What that means is that cash flow, the equity, the principal, we get to split half-half. So $229.30, I get to keep half of that, and my partner gets to keep the other half. So for me, the return on investment for my position is infinite because I didn't have to put any money in. Yeah, I had to put in some time, analyze analyzing the deal, driving to the property, and negotiating the process, sure, I did the sweat equity, right? I worked for it, but I didn't have to put any of my own money down, which is a pretty cool part. So my partner ended up putting all the money down. I got infinite return on my cash-on-cash return. It was a pretty sweet deal for me, and this is how I usually negotiated all my owner financing deals. And this model actually worked quite well when we bought our 24 unit, which I'll have Daniel talk about it. If you guys want to see that video, go and comment down below. I want to see the video. We'll go and make a video on our 24 unit apartment building, use a similar sort of setup for the purchase of that. So if you guys want to see it, comment down below. So if you guys love the way that I broke this down very easily, go and like this video, turn that like button to blue, will help us out with our YouTube algorithm.
So as I said, this is a 4-unit apartment building. You can see it behind me there. There are 4 tenants, all occupied, all paying rent on time, which is amazing. I can't ask anything better than that. There are some repairs going on the second floor unit, which we're working on right now. So I'm not going to stand out here too long because it is snowing. I'm going to go ahead and take you guys to the basement where we have the laundromat. All right, so this is how you get into the laundromat. We're gonna go into the storm cellar, open the door. So it's typically pretty nice and warm down here. And here are the laundry machines. You can see right there. Here we go. All right, so I have here one of my washers. I'm gonna go and open her up. See, there we go. We got some coins in there. And from the dryer. So let's go and open her up. Let's see if we can get the key right. There we go. And more coins. There we go. Throw that back. Throw that back in the dryer. It's locked and good to go, and same thing with the washer. Yep, it's good to go. So I hope you enjoyed that video where I broke down the 4-unit apartment building, showed you guys the numbers, how I found it, glimpse of the contract, as well as some neighborhoods around this rental property. So if you guys found this valuable, be sure to hit the like button as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're all about property management, landlording, growing our cash flow through rental properties as well as personal finance. I'll see you guys in another video.